Oh, there you go. Quick question. Have you seen Dollhouse? What's Dollhouse? On Now That's TV? What's Now That's TV? Where have you been? Oy vey. So I have to start from scratch. Okay, child, look. Go ahead and get you a snack. Come on back. Let's get into episode 1. Let Big Mama catch you on up. So don't feel bad if you did not know what Now That's TV is, or whether you did not know what the Dollhouse is. Now That's TV is a network, an app, much like the Zeus Network. So if you're familiar with the Zeus Network, with the Baddies franchise, you know it's a whole lot of ratchet. So these types of networks are for a particular group of people. If you were not aware of these types of apps, consider yourself bougie. What? And there's nothing wrong with that, because listen, I was once in your shoes. I used to look down on people who, watch this type of entertainment. I just thought it was mindless. I thought it was dumb. Like, there's no plot. These girls are just on here beating each other senseless. I just didn't get it. I did not get it. But I stayed around the fire long enough, baby, and now I am hooked. I mean, I love this stuff. And honestly, I enjoy Now That's TV more than I enjoy the Zeus Network. I don't really watch the Zeus Network that much because quiet as it's kept, Baddies Africa has been dry. Oh, dry. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's happened. Maybe the key players are not on this season. I don't know. But Baddies Africa has not was tea. Not at all. Not even close. But I'll pay my subscription every month, so I'm gonna watch. But no, Now That's TV is definitely lit. And if you don't mind, getting down and dirty and having a little ratchet entertainment every now and then I would definitely recommend it, Listen, do what you want to do, but I'm just telling you. So, anyway, this particular show called Dollhouse. Now, mind you, I've been watching that. I've been tuning Now That's TV, I'll say maybe about the past 2, maybe 3 months. And even the first time when I watched Now That's TV, the first show I watched was South Central Baddies 5. And when I first watched it, I had to turn it off. I just thought I had made a bad decision and even purchasing the app. Like, this is stupid. Like, they were literally, the opening scene, they were at a park. No storyline, just girls just mink. How they say mink. Just a whole bunch of minks. And it was just like, what's the point? Like, do y'all even know each other? It was just dumb. But tell your neighbor, look again. Look to your neighbor and say, neighbor, look again. And that's what I did. And the second time around, it got me. So now I'm hooked. And there are many shows on Now That's TV, as in comparison to the Zeus Network, which they don't have as much to offer. And honestly, after Baddies Africa goes off, if, they don't do anything to reinvigorate my passion for that network, I'll probably go ahead and chop her. It's a waste. So Now That's TV is definitely giving me what I need, or what I want. So yeah, so getting into Dollhouse. Okay, so Dollhouse is basically, along the lines of the Baddies franchise. They get a whole bunch of women. Sidebar. One thing that's different about Now That's TV compared to Zeus, I believe Zeus's shows mostly feature women. Majority of the shows feature women. Now That's TV offers shows that has men, all male cast and all female cast. So, they kind of switch it up, and then they have some shows where they have both on. It's just a whole lot. So Dollhouse is a show where I'm not sure how many girls there are. I have to count, but it's a lot of girls that they invite to come together. They're all under one one roof, and things happen, you know. I believe that they do other things throughout the show. Like, it's not just come in the house and beat each other, beat each other's heads open. But, you know, a lot of the show, or a lot of the hype of the show, is centered around the fights, or are centered around the fights. Now, what makes the Dollhouse different than the other shows is Dollhouse is made up of an all transgender cast. Now, this is the first time. Well, no, it's not the first time. There have been this type of show. There was a show on the Tronics Network, I believe, called The Girls Club. I didn't get to watch that, but I heard about that. That was an all trans cast as well. But on Now That's TV, this is the first all trans cast, and I believe they did that because they had shows where, like South Central Baddies, where they would have the biological woman in the same house with the trans woman. And there were instances where the trans women were putting their hands on the females, but rightly so, because every time that I saw that happen, it wasn't as if the trans girls were, you know, attacking or, you know, trying to put hands on the females. Typically, the females would always provoke them because they felt as though that they were safe, because they knew that they couldn't or weren't supposed to put their hands on them. So the females would try it, and sometimes they would get popped. So they, you know, figured out that the trans girls needed their own show. So, you know, it was no holds bars. So that's what Dollhouse is. So it is so interesting. The first episode premiered last Sunday. What was that? I think that was the 29th last Sunday when it premiered. So, you know, everyone has been excited about it, anxious about it. There were a few girls that I was really anxious to see on there. Even though we're only into the first episode, there's one girl who I've already had, you know, as a favorite in my head. That is Akasha. I love her. Miss Keish, honey. She's from Atlanta, and I've been following her for a while. I rock with Keish. Like, she's my kind of girl. You know, like, I love the versatility of her personality. She can be so sweet. You know, she's a Southern girl. I love to see, like, when she would have the dinner parties and she would just have everybody, all her friends over her house. She cooks for everybody, and she's just so warming. So welcoming and warming. But don't cross her now. Do not cross her. I believe she's a Cancer. Don't cross her, because you're going to know about it, okay? She's on her grown woman stuff, and I can't do nothing but respect that. You know, she's about her business. You know, she's a sweetheart, but just don't disrespect her. She don't bother nobody. You know, as long as she got her weed, you know what I'm saying, she's to herself, and she don't bother nobody. So anytime that something has popped off, and I know Keish is a fighter, okay? I know Keish don't mind. Listen, she don't mind, okay? But if you've gotten her to that level, it's because, like I said, you've gotten her to that level. That's not her base. That's not where she usually resides. But anyway, so today we are going to get into episode 1. And I'm just going to, you know, touch on all the highlights and just give my commentary on it. I hope you went and got a snack. Today I was in Target the other day, and I saw the most unusual snack, and I just knew I had to get it. The foodie in me is just always curious. My fat cells are not prejudiced. If it's edible and it won't kill me, they want it. So, I have watermelon hibiscus popcorn. I know. I made the same face when I saw them. But like I said, I'm a foodie. I'm a true foodie. I'm willing to try anything. Maybe I shouldn't say anything, but I'm willing to try most things at least once. So that's going to be my snack. I have a drink as well. A watermelon lime sparkling water. You know, keeping it kind of light, you know, slight and polite tonight. Oh, I just read this right here where it says it has real fruit in it. That's going to be interesting. I'm not expecting to be crazy about it, but you never know. You won't know unless you try, right? So, if you haven't got your snack, go get your snack. And let's get into this commentary, okay? Now, first thing first, let's taste this popcorn and see what she giving. It doesn't smell like anything watermelon. And they say there's real fruit in here, but I don't see no fruit. Do you? It just looks like popcorn to me. It smells just like popcorn. Does it smell any different? Let's see. Okay. It's kind of giving, I wouldn't say watermelon. It kind of gives me Fruity Pebbles a little bit. Like if you were to eat Fruity Pebbles dry, but only like at the first initial maybe 2 seconds. When you first put it in your mouth, is that very slight and quick hint of, you know, a fruity flavor. Not necessarily, like you wouldn't taste this and say, oh, that's watermelon. No, you wouldn't do that. But it's good. It's good. It'll do. It'll do. Okay. Let's get into it. So before I get started, let me tell you, I have a whole page of my ideas because I watched the show. And as I watched the show, I put my ideas down about, you know, what I was seeing. So I didn't want to forget nothing. So that's why I made sure I typed everything up. So if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm trying to, you know, follow my thought pattern as I was watching the show. Okay? So first things first, let me introduce all the girls. You have Joss, who some people, I don't know why they call her Joyce. Her name is, to my understanding, her name is Jocelyn. But people have been calling her Joyce, and I've even found myself calling her Joyce sometimes too. But it's Joss, who is the host of the show. You got Kenzie, who is an OG on Now That's TV. Keish, Akasha, Bria, Makayla, Trini, Jelani, Swayana, Barbie, London, Ari, Savannah, Persuasion, YG Dior, Pookie, JB's, Shyla, and Jada. Okay? I'm not even sure how many girls I just named, but it's a lot of girls. But to my understanding, a lot of these girls, I think there's like some trade-ins like throughout the season. Like some of these girls, I guess, are going to leave, and some of the other girls are going to come in later on. So that's my understanding of it. So, first thing, Joyce. See, you got me calling her Joyce. Joyce Joss, tomato. She gathers all the girls in, I guess, the living room of the mansion that they're in. And basically, she's like scolding them, telling them how she's disappointed with their looks, how they don't look like dolls. She said that they look like Playboys, which, by the way, if you're not aware, Playboys is another series that's on the Now That's TV network. It's pretty much the same premise as all the other shows, except for it's an all-male cast. And they turn up too. Trust me, I'm like crazy about this show. I'm actually on season 2 of Playboys as we speak. I'm almost finished with that. So, but I love Playboys. But anyway, she says that the girls are disappointed her. They don't look like the dolls, which, I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, because you're coming to a show basically to get your head ripped off. Why would you? I don't understand why the girls come with the wigs, you know, laid, and, you know, all the makeup. I don't understand. Like, why would you come dolled up to get slaughtered? Like, that don't make sense to me. But I guess, you know, that's what Joyce does. So she was expressing her disappointment in the girls. She told Swayana that she was her knockoff. And if you actually put the two side by side, I can see why she would think that. Swayana does look like, I'm not going to say a Temu version of Joss, but they do resemble, but she's not quite Joss. But I can see why she would say that. So she called her Skeletor. What? And just proceeded to berate this child. And before you know it, Swayana and Joss were at it. Like, they had to get that, right? Now, mind you, I said, you know, they look just alike. They're pretty much the same size. Like, that is like a perfectly yoked fight, you know? They pretty much fight the same, like, kind of sloppy, but, you know, make it do what it do. From what I could see, there were no punches really landing like that. But they made it do what it do. But then in the midst of the fight, Swayana fell and hit her head. And when she hit her head, she looked like For a second, I thought she was having a seizure. Like, she looked really dazed. Her eyes were wide open. She just looked like she was out of it. So they had to call the medics in. It was a real emotional moment, a real intense moment. And Josh was pretty much giving, die bitch, like, just wicked with it, So that was the opening scene. So after the opening scene, here comes, the theme song and the introduction of all the girls. Now, I love the theme song, which, by the way, is Jelani's theme song. Jelani's a rapper. There's a couple of girls on the show that rap. Jelani, Keish, Barbie. I'm not sure anybody else. I know those three definitely have music. I love Keisha's songs. I know Keisha's been putting out music for a while. Like I said, I follow Keish on social media. So, I've been keeping up with what she's been doing. You may have heard a few of her songs, but Mad Girl. Was it? Mad Girls, yeah. What else? She has a couple of songs that I like. But Jelani, yeah, she's nice with it too. But the opening song is Jelani's song. So that's Jelani doing her thing. Big ups to her. So then we get into the actual show. And what they do is they get all the girls, I think at the Now This TV office, they were bringing the girls in, by batches. So the first girl that they brought in was Savannah. Then they brought in Bria. And then they brought in Barbie. Now, mind you, Barbie is the OG as well. Barbie came in on 1000 already, okay? Listen, she done been on this rodeo many times. So she came already on 10. Popping her shit as an OG. So, Savannah then says that she's waiting for Persuasion because... So Persuasion is like the original OG when it comes to the trans girls on Now This TV. Because Persuasion was on South Central Baddies Season 1. So Persuasion was there from the jump. So Savannah is also an OG on Now This TV because she was on, I think, Season 4. I think it was Season 4 of South Central Baddies. So, Savannah, Barbie, Kenzie, anybody else? And Joyce. Those are the four, and did I say Persuasion? Persuasion, yeah. Those four are Now This TV OGs. Like, they've been, on a couple of different shows. So, they weren't new to this. Also, when the girls were linking up in the beginning, Jelani, a.k.a. Lonnie Bunny, she had made mention to Kenzie that, because Kenzie said that she was an OG on Dollhouse. And Jelani was giving, no ma'am. We're all new on Dollhouse. She said, you're OG on Now This TV, but you're not OG on Dollhouse. Like, we're all newbies. So Kenzie gave her that. Okay, clock that. So, yeah, so then Savannah comes in and says that she has beef with Persuasion. So she's basically waiting for Persuasion to come in. So then Ari comes in. I've never heard of Ari. She's just beautiful. Small, little, petite girl. Beautiful. She comes and talking her shit, talking about, she's 5'7", petite. And I need to make a correction. I said that Akasha's song was Mad Girls. I'm sorry, it's Mad Hoes. There's a difference. So after Savannah said what she said about Persuasion, in comes Ari. Now, I've never met Ari. I've never heard of Ari before. She's new to me. But she's absolutely beautiful. She's, a small little petite thing. And she comes in pretty much saying, she's 5'7", she's small and petite, and she can't stand up against them big back girls. Baby. Pressing buttons already. So, just a few of the girls link up before entering the house. So then, they take Bria, Savannah, Ari, and, no, I said Savannah already. So, Bria, Savannah, Ari, and I think, was it YG? I think it was YG. They transport them from the location to the house, right? So they're the first 4 girls to enter the house. So once they're at the house, more girls come into the office. So the next group of girls is Kenzie. Okay, so no, I was wrong. It wasn't YG. Because YG comes in with Kenzie. So Kenzie comes in, YG comes in, Swayana comes in. YG Dior, I've never heard of her before either, or Swayana. I just love, I love YG. She's just so cute to me. I love her energy. She's just adorable. After YG comes in, Jelani comes in. Lonnie Bunny comes in. And baby, listen, she made it very clear from the jump. She came to shake some shit up. Like, she ain't coming to make friends. She ain't coming to kiki kaka. Jelani, she understands the assignment. So, you know, the girl's just hanging out, kicking a bobo, talking shit. And then Pookie comes in. Someone else I was not familiar with. Honestly, most of these girls I've never heard of before, so only a few of them I've heard of and seen on social media. Pookie comes in. Pookie classifies herself as hoodfish. And she comes in with the long bangy nails, and she just clap, 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 clap. But she's a pretty girl as well. So like I said earlier, Jelani informs Kenzie that there are no OGs on Dollhouse, that they're all, you know, newbies. And like I said, Kenzie gave her that. So, okay. Kenzie know. Kenzie know who to start it with and who not to start it with. She don't want no part of Lonnie Bunny, honey. Because like Lonnie Bunny says, honey, one thing she going to always do is hop. Baby, and I'm saying very early on in the show, she means that. So, let me see. So then Persuasion comes in, right? Now, like I said, Persuasion is really the most original of all the girls there as far as being on Dollhouse TV. And over the years, Persuasion has really stepped her look up, you know? She was looking around for those early years, but now she done got her a little boob job, and, you know, she's just really spruced up her look. You can tell that she really, you know, she's in her soft girl era. And she's feeling it, as she should. And, you know, all the other girls were living for it. So it was a nice moment because at that moment, you could tell it was a genuine sisterly moment. So it was nice to see the girls, you know, really going up for her like that. So then, while the girls are, you know, that group of girls, while they're, you know, talking and having a good time or whatever, Pookie, Miss Hoodfish, steps over to the camera, being messy, talking about the girls look a mess. Pookie, Pookie, Pookie. So then the next group of girls, which was the ones I just talked about, Jelani, Persuasion, Kenzie, and Pookie, and YG, then they're escorted to the house. When they're escorted to the house, London, Shyla, and Jada enters the house as well. So when the girls get in the house, they're going crazy because, of course, you know, it's a really nice mansion, a really nice house. So they're all going crazy. And, you know, most of the time in these shows, the first people that get into the house usually are the first ones to pick their rooms. And typically those people pick the best rooms. So the girls thinking they're about to go pick their rooms, and security was given, bring that ass on back down them stairs. They wasn't having it. So the girls started coming back downstairs. They had pictures of every girl up on the wall, you know, done up, beat. So the girls were pretty much getting life, especially Kenji. Like, she was really loving her picture. You can tell that she's not used to seeing herself like that, because she was even, you know, amazed at her own image. So, yeah. So while they're doing that, Isaiah comes out, and for those that don't know, Isaiah is like one of the CEOs of Now This TV. So I think what it is with Now This TV, there's certain people who are given the task of coming up with the cast for different shows. And, you know, a lot of the shows that includes the girls, Isaiah tends to be over. So, you know, typically the CEOs have to be present in most of the scenes. So Isaiah comes, the girls are greeting Isaiah. So then Jelani, Kenzie, YG, Jada, London, and Shyla, they all sit down in the living room area, and they're basically discussing what phase they're looking forward to. Like, pretty much who they came for. And Jelani, she's like the ringleader. You can already tell from the jump, she's like one of the alphas. She's going to be one of the heavy hitters, and she's ready for whatever with whoever. So, yeah. So, they're sitting around talking about, you know, who they trying to get it in with, who they looking forward to getting it in with. Jelani checks Jada's temperature, because I think there was sometime before her and Jada had some type of misunderstanding. And I think Jelani was just trying to clear the air before anything got started. She didn't want to, you know, be all nice and sweet to her if there was an issue that they need to get off their chest. So, you know, she checks that. Jada lets her know, you know, it's all good. It ain't giving none of that. I think Jada knew too, honey. Listen, these girls ain't dumb. So then Jelani asked Shyla, you need that. Because there was some stuff going on, you know, between those two behind the scenes. So she was basically asking her if she needed that. Shayla was given, basically not right now, but later on, we can run that. Okay. So then London, she does her confessional. London admits, you know, she's not really a fighter. You know, she's a pretty light-skinned girl. You can tell, I don't even know why. It's like in some of these shows, these people purposely cast the sheep of the pastures. You feel me? You know, you have the prey and then you have the predators. And it's like London has pretty much named herself or pegged herself as one of the prey in the house. So she already said there's a good chance you might see her get mopped up. So, but she's going to take it. At least, you know, at least she ain't running, because a lot of girls get scared and run off the show when they realize what's going on. So after that, they sitting around talking. YG tells the girls, look, y'all tighten up them tucks, because I don't want to see no balls around this around this house. I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. So then in comes Savannah. Savannah comes in. She greets everybody. And then Jada, when she goes to, you know, greet Jada, Jada asks her, what's good? Like, what's that temperature? Because Jada heard that Savannah said that she was going to jump her. So Jada, because you know that, well, I should have said this in the beginning. Before these girls come on the show, they all are a part of a group chat. See, these group chats are where a lot of beefs, most of the beefs get started, because we can't see the group chats. Only they know what's going on in the group chats. So it's my understanding the girls be talking a lot of shit in these group chats. And then when they come together, that's pretty much what the beefs are based off. So it was said in the group chat that Savannah was going to jump Jada. So Jada had to check that. Savannah had to act like I think she had to take her glasses off or something. And Savannah acted like she didn't know who she was. So I guess that means she don't need that. But I don't even recall ever seeing Savannah run that. Like, Savannah has a lot of mouth, but I've never seen her throw hands that I can recall. And if she did, it must not have been nothing to write home about, because I don't recall it. So then, Ari comes into the house. She was mad because I guess the producer told her that she was going to be one of the first people in the house, which was a lie, because it was like 6, 7, 8 people already there. So she came in, she was gagging off of that. So I don't know what she had on. Listen, baby girl came inside the house with drawers on. I don't know what that was. I mean, it was cute, because she got, you know, she's a cute girl and she got a nice body. But she literally came in there with her drawers on. But she can do it. She can pull it off. I couldn't do nothing like that, baby. They be calling on cops on me, honey, for indecent exposure, baby. So, Bria then realizes that out of all the girls' pictures that's pets on the wall, hers is not up there. Talk about shade. Got some shade. So, Bria says that Shyla, looks disgusting because of how she looked. All the other girls came looking pretty decent. Shyla came looking like she already been in a fight before she got on the show. She just clearly didn't put much effort into her look. But I get it. Because like I said earlier, why come to a fight dolled up? It don't make sense. If you know this show is primarily based on fighting and drama, why would you come dressed up? So I get it. But, you know, I wouldn't say she looked disgusting. She just looked prepared, if you ask me. So there was some tension clearly between Bria and Shyla, because also I think Shyla said that Bria had expressed some of her low self-esteem or lack of confidence about her transition. And when Bria, I guess she felt it was a safe space to do that, Shyla started laughing at her. She was keying at her. So it was already some tension between Bria and Shyla. And it was said that Bria had said that she was going to smack Shyla on sight. Right? So after that, In comes Barbie, still on 1,000. And as soon as she get in the house, she immediately puts on her swim cap. That is so retro. I can't even say retro because Now That's TV is, you know, a new show. But that is so typical Now That's TV. Them girls love them swim cap, especially on South Central Baddies. You would think it was an Olympic swim team. So, then the girls pretty much say that Ari is boring, which is weird because Ari had just got in the house. Like, she hadn't even been in the house 5 minutes, and the girls are already calling her boring. But Ari ain't no punk, honey. That mouth is something else. So she started reading. She started reading Kenzie in particular. She said, Kenzie, it's noon. I can already see your 5 o'clock shadow. I said, ooh. So then Jelani reminds the group that Bria said that she would slap Shyla on sight for laughing at her, you know, laughing at her pain, basically. So when she does that, she also encourages Bria to do it. Because like how I said before, you can tell already Jelani is one of the heavy hitters. So she's like initiating stuff, you know? She's ready for the action. So at that moment, Bria didn't do it. But with most of these shows, you learn a pattern. These hoes love to sneak. They love to sneak. So, yeah. So, let's see. So then YG and Ari have a disagreement. It felt generic. I felt like they were kind of just trying to stir up something, you know, because in real life, Ari and YG are actually sisters. They're actually friends. What? So, but I can see like the pattern too of them trying to make the people who are like equally yoked fight. Like for instance, with with Joss and Swayana in the beginning scene, they were equally yoked. They looked, you know, pretty much looked the same. They were the same build. Like, they were equally yoked. Same thing with YG and Ari. They're two little pretty petite girls. So, they were equally yoked. So, you know, their little fake beef got off the ground. So, they had the first fight. Now, the fight in the beginning of the show was not actually... You know how some shows, when they show you what happens later on in the show, at the beginning of the show, and then they start the show? So, that's how it was. So, technically, YG and Ari were... they were the first fade. So, I mean, it was cute. It was a cute little fight. For them to be, you know, so pretty. It was a cute little fight, you know. They were both getting some good hits in. They both looked pretty before the fight. They both looked pretty after the fight. And nobody's wig got put off. Because that's one thing you know about these shows. I don't even know why these hoes wear wigs. I'm telling you, I would always see. I couldn't go on a show like that. Because I got locks. And I know these hoes love to pull hair. That's the first thing they're going for. So it would just be advantageous if you're going to be on a show like this to just wear like some cornrows or something that can't be snatched off, because baby, them wigs be flying off now they're going north. You hear me? I'm telling you. So let's see what happened next. Oh, so then after YG and Ari fight, they actually make up. Like, you know, they ask each other, you know, you good? You good? Okay, we good now. And they actually hug, and then they make up. Aww. And Kenzie was so mad because, you know, Kenzie, like, she's an OG. She want to keep shit going. So the fact, I told you, I don't really think YG and Ari wanted to fight to begin with. Like, it felt forced, you know? So, I mean, but they were still throwing some punches, even though they supposed to be sisters in real life. Like, they were throwing some real punches now. And like I said, most of them were landing. They were getting some pretty good hits. But, you know, they got that over with. They hugged. They made up. They good. So Kenzie got mad. And that was that. So then, now mind you, I told you early on, these girls love to sneak. They some sneaky hoes, I'm telling you. Out of nowhere, here come Bria. Baby, when I tell you Bria tried to take Charlotte's head off of her shoulders, I mean, the punches that she was throwing, that they look personal. Like, she was really throwing them. And it was funny because Bria said this was only her second fight ever in life. I find it hard to believe. The way she was throwing those punches, Baby, how the girls say, throwing from the shoulder. Bria was throwing from the shoulder. Baby, listen. Charlotte didn't know what hit her. Because it happened so fast. Everybody was still kind of up, you know, up in arms about the YG and Ari situation. So they weren't paying attention to Bria. But that's how they do it. They wait till, you know, everybody's unassuming, and then they go in for the attack. So that's what she did. She used that moment as her, you know, cover up to make her attack. It was very calculated. So yeah, Charlotte didn't see that coming. I don't think any of us did. And I'm telling you, Bria walked back. That thing was personal. I think because you know, they said she was laughing at Bria's insecurities and stuff. So Bria took that to heart. She was trying to take her head off. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Oh, and somebody else on the show said they said Bria beat the moans out of Charlotte. And by moans, I mean hormones. Baby, she sure did. Beat him out of her like Mario coins. And did. Let me tell you something now. About weeks. Cause say what you want about Charlotte, but Charlotte was smart. Charlotte was smart. With that Bria, and listen, I've always been taught, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing. But baby, listen, that hairline Bria got on her, a complete fool. You hear me? A complete fool. Why would you, if you know you coming to a show where you're basically coming to fight, you know they, listen, you've seen enough of these shows to know that when girls fight, the first thing, typically 9.5 times out of 10, the first thing they going for is that wig. If you know your hairline look like that, why would you wear a wig? Like, why would you even come on a show like that? Like, you're going to embarrass yourself. Clearly she didn't care. But London said Bria looked like Martin Luther King. Baby, when I tell you I fell on the floor and rolled side to side, squealing. Because the shade is, that hairline really is giving, I have a dream. It's giving it. Listen, I'm not being mean. I may post a picture so you can see. But baby, listen. That hairline is a fool. Yeah. With that happening, then they tune into Barbie. So now Barbie's still on 1,000. She ain't came down since the beginning of the show. Still on 1,000. Barbie's waiting for Swayana, the same girl that Josh was fighting in the beginning scene. So I guess clearly Swayana was saying she was going to do this, she was going to do that to Barbie in the group chat. And Barbie's giving very much, come do everything that you said you was going to do to me. So, you know what Barbie gives. She, all of this in the camera and clapping and barking. You know what Barbie gives. All in her swim cap, mind you. So, yeah. And then after she does all of that barking, she turns around and starts twerking. Barbie, Barbie, Barbie. So, in the midst of all the action going on, Jelani gets worked up. Because mind you, I told you, she came in ready for the action. So she gets worked up. She asks Shyla, who just screwed her head back on from getting knocked off by Bria. She asks her, are you ready to dance? Because basically, you know, you said such and such and such, and now you got to see me too. So Charlotte was giving, damn. It's like, she just really had a fight with Hurricane Katrina. And now you want to fight too? And she's going to be even worse than Bria. So Charlotte really wasn't trying to do the 1-2s with her. But at this point, Jelani had already took her wig off. Once the girl took her wig off, once the girl takes her wig off, the rest is in God's hands. Baby, when I tell you she went to work on Shyla, baby, she went to work and didn't even clock in. So even in the fight, Jelani had slipped because she was hitting her so hard. She was like, them swings was, and she slipped. But even by her slipping, she still didn't miss a beat. Baby, she got Shyla up on that. She had Shyla curled up on that couch. Mackety, mackety, mack. Baby, she macked her without the cheese, okay? All mac, no cheese. No cheese. Light on the cheese, please. Baby, all mad. I said, damn, Charlotte. But Charlotte, listen, she endured it like a good soldier. She did. So here come Kenzie lay ass, her mad ass. She calls London out to come fight. Now, mind you, London already said that she's not a fighter. So, Kenzie, it was really giving bully tease because you're an OG. Why are you calling this little girl out to fight, knowing she can't hardly do too much or nothing? I don't like that. But anyway, she called her out because it was said that London called Kenzie out for talking about Joss behind Joss's back. But then she overheard Kenzie talking to Joss, talking to her, just being fake, telling her, oh yeah, we the OGs, we this, we that. But you was just talking about this girl behind her back. So when Kenzie found out that London had said that, called her out, Kenzie saw that as an opportunity to run her ones with London. Which really wasn't a fight. I mean, I think London did swing, but it didn't do too much of nothing. And really, for real, Kenzie didn't do nothing for real. She just snatched her wig off. So it happened so quick, it really wasn't much of nothing. So then, after that, London comes back around and says, all the girls just want to fight her because she's pretty and da-da-da-da-da. And there could be some truth to that, but, I think Kenzie was just looking for a moment with someone who wasn't going to be a challenge for her. But you don't understand, that makes her look weak. Because if you know this girl can't really fight, that's not a challenge. Like, that just makes you look weak. So, anyway. I wasn't really living for Kenzie's look. Because I follow her on Instagram too. Sometimes her pictures, she gives a certain look. But then she gets back on these shows and she just looks hard to me again. So, I'm going to need Kenzie to up that dosage on the moans, honey. Because, baby, I need for you to soften up. For real. It's giving too much testosterone. No shade. But I need for you to soften up, honey. It's like how JB said in the trailer, baby, it's Dollhouse, not Brick House. And I'm not reading. I'm just saying. It's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Let me see. So then after Kenzie, does her little 1-2 with London, she's trying to go for round 2 with London. And security is like, holding her back. They don't let her fight. So she's throwing a temper tantrum, going off on the security because they won't let her get her round 2 with London. So she's just pretty much going around barking, talking about she demands respect because she's an OG, blah, 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 blah. And that was pretty much the end of that episode, honestly. So then they showed the trailer for the next episode. And from what I could see, in the next episode, Spianna finally arrives. And Barbie is waiting for her at the door. And they were all sitting at dinner. And Pookie had some type of words with Bria and ended up throwing water on her, which in turn caused the fade. So that'll be a part of the next episode. So that was it. That was it for the first episode. Like I said, I've been waiting for this show ever since I heard about it. Because when I would watch South Central Baddies and all the other shows, I always felt like the trans girls couldn't really, do their big ones because they couldn't really fight nobody. I mean, they weren't really suited to fight the guys. And they were overly suited to fight the girls in most cases. So it was just like, they had to fight each other. And there was only like a couple of them on the shows. So, but I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like this is good for them to have their own show. So they can cut up like everybody else cut up. Because let me tell you, them South Central Baddies, they cut to food. And them Playboys, oh baby, I think they probably worse than the baddies. So it's good for them to be able to, have a show just for the trans girls, for the, so they can do their big ones too. So it's good. It's good. I'm enjoying it. But like I said, I can't wait to see my girl Keish. I can't wait for her to come on. Cause I think she said she didn't get to the house until like maybe the 3rd or 4th episode. So I'm looking forward to seeing her. I was surprised when I found out that, she got mopped one good time because I've never known Keish to get mopped. Like, Keish got them hands. And it said that Michaela had her bloodied all up and stuff. No. But even with that, Keish so real, like, you know what I'm saying? She owned up to her shit. Because even I saw the Instagram when when it happened in live time, and she was on her way to the hospital, she owned her shit. She got mobbed. She was like, she pretty much said, you know, she got me. And that's the real bitch. Somebody, you know what I'm saying, who can take a L and, you know, still keep pushing. You know, like, when you fight like that, you win some, you lose some, you know. But with Keisha, I feel like she wins most, you know, when she lose some. So I respect her even more for just, you know, taking it. What can you do? It happens sometimes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these fades, because I know these girls, most of these girls are new, so they're ready to cut up. Like, they're ready to really do their biggest ones, because now they feel like they have to make an impression on the network so they can be on more shows. I believe they're about to film South Central Baddies 6. So everybody's trying to get on South Central Baddies 6. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if Billy Barbie is out. I know she got locked up, but I hope she's out in time for South Central Baddies 6, because everybody's scared of Billy. Billy is, ooh, baby, that's a big old country girl, honey. Baby, listen, when she hits you, baby, it's her and the ancestors, honey. When she rack back, honey, and swing on you, baby, you gonna know about it. But I think she might still be locked up though. But yeah, that's it. So if you haven't seen it already, if you have the Now Let's TV network, I would definitely recommend it. If you don't have the Now Let's TV network, I understand. Like I said, this type of content is not for everybody. It's for a particular group of people, you know. So if you don't want to watch it, then, you know, you can just come and see my commentaries, because I'm going to do commentary every week. Every episode I'm going to do commentary, because I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I just want to find a show where I can start from the actual beginning, you know, like a new show, and ride through it. So this is going to be the show that I'm going to do the commentary on. And depending on the feedback that I get from you all, I may do other shows, commentaries on other shows on Now Let's TV as well. So yeah, I think that's it for now. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it made sense. I know I said a lot of names. There was a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, that's that. So I'm gonna go. It's actually very late. What time is it? It's 2:16 in the morning. And I'm up here talking about this ratchet mess. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys for spending some time with me. Have the most amazing day, morning, afternoon, evening, or late night. And I will see you in the next vlog. All right? Until next time. Bye. Or should I say bam, bam, bam. One more thing before I go. If by chance you haven't watched this show, or you do watch Now Let's TV, get down in the comments. Let me know. Let me know how you felt about the show. Let me know about any of the other Now Let's TV shows that you watch, because I am a Now Let's TV coordinator. As Big Tamika, if you follow Big Tamika on TikTok, she says he's a chicken sortinaire, baby. I'm a Now Let's TV sortinaire. Okay? And I've watched a lot of shows on Now Let's TV, and I have a lot of opinions and things about the show. So if you too have subscribed to the Now Let's TV app, and you know, watch these shows, get in the comments, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know what you think about these shows, because I've watched these shows all the time, but I don't really have anybody to talk about it with, because my friends are too bougie for me. They don't watch this kind of stuff. So I would love to hear from you. I was going to say something else. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, give me that thumbs up, and share. You know, if you really rock with your girl, I appreciate it so much. Okay, I'm gone for real this time. Bye, y'all. See y'all later.